darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing The Princess Diaries, Book 1 by Meg Cabot, and I listened to the audiobook for this, which is read by Anne Hathaway. She also plays Mia in the Disney movie, The Princess Diaries. So this is a reread for me, like a bajillionth time reread, I don't even know. This is one of those books that I read so many times in high school and college, and I really adore Mia in the entire series, and so high school me is definitely going to be showing a bit in this review, FYI. So Mia Thermopolis is growing up in Manhattan. She lives with her mother, and she goes to this private school called Albert Einstein High. And Mia's not very popular. She's incredibly awkward and very passive, like it doesn't like confrontation, and Mia's really trying to learn to be more assertive, and her mom gives her this diary as a way to kind of process her feelings and hopefully become more independent or vocal. Mia, being a typical high school freshman, is super worried about her appearance. She has this oddly triangular shaped hair, and this color of it is this kind of mousy brown dishwater blonde that she doesn't like. Like, even the way her hair is described is not particularly attractive. Mia is abnormally tall, and she has like a no boobs. Like, she is seriously obsessed with the fact that she has no boobs. Part of this may be the fact that Mia is totally crushing on the cutest guy in her class. Anyway, she's totally crushing on Josh Richter, who is like uber popular, gorgeous guy in her school, and he is dating the head cheerleader, Lana, who is gorgeous, and Mia just doesn't feel like she measures up to that. So Mia's mother is an artist. She's also incredibly absent-minded and does things like forgetting to pay the rent. And so Mia has to kind of grow up and take responsibility. And she also finds out that her mom is dating her math teacher, Mr. Giannini. Math being the one class that Mia is actually failing, and so Mia's totally not exactly 100% behind this, and is also stressing about that, failing math and her mom dating her math teacher. So Mia spends her summers vacationing in France with her grandmother and father, and she knows her dad is like really rich and that he's a politician in Genova. What she doesn't know is that her dad is the prince, like, rules the country as in charge. So Mia finds out that her father has testicular cancer, can't have any other children, and so his grand plan of settling down, marrying somebody, and having a legitimate heir goes out the window, and Mia, being his only child, now needs to step up and become the heir to the throne of Genova. Mia's totally freaking out about this because she didn't know her dad was a prince, and also now all of a sudden she's a princess. Like, she is so awkward and doesn't want to do it. She likes kind of hiding a bit. She doesn't want that kind of attention. She doesn't want that kind of responsibility. So Mia just has probably the most realistic breakdown ever, where she just starts bawling her eyes out. Honestly, I kind of love the scene where Mia finds out that she's a princess, and her reaction to it. Yeah. Tons of girls probably be thrilled with it. Mia, not exactly. So Mia tries to do this thing where she goes to school and acts like she's not actually going to be a princess and doesn't tell anybody, but that kind of backfires when her grandmother shows up, insists that she needs to take princess lessons, which Mia doesn't want to do, and then her grandmother outs her to the world to make Mia face the reality of what's happening to her and learn how to deal with the press. Her grandmother is, frankly, kind of a bitch. Also, Mia has to be bought and bribed to even do this. Like, her father and her start negotiating the terms of how she's going to be a princess, and how she's not going to move to Genova, and how she's going to stay in America, and having to learn compromises. And ultimately, her dad has to pay her $100 a day, well, at least pay Greenpeace $100 a day for Mia to continue her lessons and assume the throne. So Mia as a character is actually pretty likable, and relatable, and I adore her, even though she's like, it's a diary and she is incredibly obsessed with things that don't seem like they should matter, like the guy that's probably not going to like her back, or the fact that she doesn't have boobs, but she has no control over whatsoever. But the way Mia describes things is really funny, and I feel so bad for her when something awful happens, and are so excited when something good finally happens that just totally along for the ride and love Mia's narrating voice. Mia is not perfect. She makes plenty of mistakes in these books, but they're also kind of important, not only to progress her character, but even just comedic relief. I loved it, basically. Mia's best friend, Lily, is, first off, she's an activist, and she has her own cable TV show. And Lily gets super obsessed with this stuff, and she's totally controlling. And it's so weird to see the dynamic between Lily and Mia, because on one hand, Lily is like pushing her to be more aggressive and stand up for herself. And when she finally stands up to Lily, Lily loses it and can't take it. And so half the book, honestly, is Mia and Lily fighting, which is maybe not the most fun thing to read. But on the other hand, Lily is not that great best friend. Like, kind of glad that she and Mia go on this break and stop talking to each other. And Mia also gets to become friends with Tina, who is this heiress who has to be followed around with a bodyguard. And all of a sudden, when Mia becomes a princess and has to get her own bodyguard, she, like, gets it. And feels so bad that Tina doesn't have any friends and that Mia wasn't talking to her before. And Tina's actually a really awesome human being. So, kind of glad that all that stuff happened. So there's also this multicultural dance coming up with Mia really, really wanting to go with Josh, but Josh has a girlfriend, and then Josh finds out she's a princess and what Josh does, which is not great, honestly. And also Mia kind of crushing on Lily's brother Michael, and it's so adorable. On the whole, I gave this book 5 stars, but honestly, a lot of this might just be nostalgia for this is what I was obsessed with in high school and college, and so I'm not sure if I were reading it for the first time that I would necessarily give it 5 stars still, but teenage me super loves it and is just like, yes, this is the best thing ever. Book 1 does a pretty good job of not being dated. Some of the later books I know make reference, like, pop culture references, and the book also doesn't tie up everything because it's the first book in a series, and Meg Cabot knew it was going to be a series, so, like, not everything gets resolved at the end. Like, there is definitely an ending to this book and where it stops, but Mia's life still goes on, and so not everything is sorted. Some of that stuff is going to get sorted in later books. Mia has some revelations and some growth, but not a ton. So I really love this book. I love the series. I adore Mia as a character. So the movies are awesome, but they are not the same as book Mia. It was really cool, though, to hear the audiobook read by Anne Hathaway, who plays Mia in the movies, and having Mia sound like movie Mia, like having book movie Mia sound like movie Mia was really cool, and I liked the fact that they are the same character. Like, Mia's at a different point in her life and her realizations in the movie. It's kind of like an alternate reality. Like, there is one universe where Mia's dad dies, and her grandmother isn't a complete bitch. And then there's another universe where her dad's alive, but her grandmother's horrible, and how those two, I guess, realities affect Mia. Because they feel like the same character, even though they're going through different circumstances. So on the whole, really enjoyed this. I totally recommend it. It is maybe a more girly book. Not sure a guy's gonna quite appreciate Mia as much as a girl would. Definitely more towards the teenage gearing. So if you are not one of those people that can't deal with a lot of teenage drama in a book, maybe not the best. But I love Mia, basically. Yeah. So there's my review of The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this book, what you thought of it, or if you're going to read it now, or if you refuse to read it, what's up with that? Peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.